What's up everyone, Savage Gamer here, and today I bring you a video that I've spent 2 years campaigning for to become a reality. Whining, begging, pleading on every post posted on X, asking for a PSVR2 port. To the point the creator, Vlad Ranik, finally even addressed me, saying, "I'll see what I can do." And boy, did they ever deliver. The fact that I'm even making this video for you guys seems absolutely surreal to me. But before we get into this, I need to make it abundantly clear that this game is my #1 VR game of all time. I am highly biased and love everything about it. Even the small amount of jank has kind of grown on me. Now, I tell you this because I need you to understand that I am not looking at this game through a reviewer's lens. I'm explaining it through the words of probably the biggest superfan of this title on the entire fucking planet. So, if you are looking for the negatives or reasons to justify not purchasing this title, well, you won't find that here. In fact, I can say in all honesty that, in my opinion, this title alone is worth purchasing a PSVR2 headset for. The graphics are far improved, the visual clarity improved, the haptic feedback improved. There's foveated rendering and eye tracking now on the PSVR2. And I say this as someone who loved the Quest 2 and 3 versions, having a total playtime of 106 hours currently on those respective platforms. Which, okay, 106 hours may not sound like a lot to you guys, but considering that I own well over 1,000 VR titles between Quest 2 and 3 and PSVR 1 and 2, as well as I run a PlayStation VR Center channel, I assure you I have put more time into this title than any other. No Man's Sky VR is my second favorite VR title of all time, and I have around 35 hours into that, for perspective. So now you know that this video it's not a review, but if you really want a score, fine, I give it a 10 of 10. That's what I fucking give it, and I stand by that number. Now, this video is the first of many to come, where I hope to show any doubters why this is the best VR game I have personally ever played. Explain why I have so much love for this title, and why I spent 2 years actually fucking begging to have this ported over to PSVR 2, and why I think that all of you will love it as well. Also, if you haven't already, make sure to hit like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps, as I am essentially shadow banned for having thoughts that go against the current woke agenda in gaming, as well as I also refuse to ever self-censor myself. It's my voice and my thoughts, and I refuse to allow YouTube or anyone else to ever force me to sacrifice my integrity over popularity. And with all that said, I give you what I feel is the best VR game of all time, Into the Radius. Let's fucking go! What's up, guys? Man, it's crazy I even get to make this video. It's honestly a dream come true for me. Anyway, so what exactly is Into the Radius? Into the Radius, or ITR for short, is essentially an open world survival set in an apocalyptic paranormal universe. But it's not just a survival game, it's the survival game. Allow me to explain. This is a genre that I have long been a fan of for many years. However, ITR accomplished something that no other title has ever seemed to satisfy within me. especially aided with playing in VR, and that's something being full immersion. Also, just to clarify, the footage that you will be watching may not be relevant to anything that I'm saying in this video. It's just a background visual for you to enjoy while I explain my thoughts about this title. So just don't expect what I'm saying to match up with or reflect with what is going on screen, okay? Now, back to what makes ITR so immersive for me. You'll start out knowing little to nothing about what is going on, where you're at, or why things are the way that they are. Your only companionship is a computer, some found audio tapes along the way, and most importantly, written notes that you will discover along your adventure, which are imperative to your progression at times, but we'll get into that later, possibly in another video down the road. As I was saying, you start out alone in a strange, hostile, and eerie world, being vastly underpowered, having to scrounge for items to aid you along your way. But ITR approaches this in such a compelling way that once it manages to sink its hooks into you, you'll understand why this is such a brilliant fucking title. There's honestly just so much to cover that I'm a bit overwhelmed with where I should even fucking start. So I think we'll start with the mechanics.
We need to make sure you stay that way. This is no place for the living. Go into the fog. See what's out there. Your memories will guide you. Now that we've made this connection, I can find you anywhere.
You have a watch which tells you the time, as well as your health indicator in red and your stamina indicator in blue. You can eat foods and drink beverages to restore your stamina, which can be done by physically holding a snack or drink up to your mouth, or opening a canned item and using your knife as a fork in order to divulge in pineapples and other canned foods. As far as your health goes, you can either use a stim and inject your arm, or take a shower at home base to refill your health levels. Or you can just sleep in a bed for at least 1 hour to fully restore both your health and stamina. You also have a backpack, which is essential to your traversal and success of completing missions. You can store everything within your backpack and even decide on how to arrange everything. However, there is a weight limit to this, and if it is exceeded, you will become over encumbered and move at a very, very slow pace until you eliminate the excess weight. Your goal is to complete missions, and in doing so, unlock higher tier security levels, which in return grants you the ability to purchase better weapons, armor, and ammunition types from the home base store, which is located within the train station thing at your base. However, the weaponry you are able to purchase is not all located just in the store location, as you can also discover unique weapons and magazine types out within the radius, which cannot be purchased in the storefront, so exploration is highly encouraged. There are several mission types to participate in. Most all can be summed up as fetch quests essentially, but there are many varieties of these quests, and my least favorite quest type I'd say is the paparazzi quest, where you must take pictures of certain enemy types. However, you can just skip these quests as they are not imperative in order to advance. You'll just not be able to collect the money that you would garnish with completing them. And I hate these quests, so I skip them, to be honest. I find myself becoming way too filled with anxiety while attempting to take a picture of an enemy and then fumbling the fuck around to grab a firearm and eliminate the enemy before they get me. It just rattles my cage a bit much, so that's why I choose to just skip these mission types personally. While out in the radius, you will encounter several different enemy types, from ghostly figures to shadowy cops that shoot at you, to terrifying octopus like nightmares creatures, to heavily armored enemies. And then there are anomalies, which can become really frustrating at times and also cause substantial damage to you as well. I mean, there's an abundance of enemy types here, and you'll find new ones as you progress through each new map location. When you first step out into the radius, you are so fucking underpowered that it feels truly terrifying. You'll be walking with caution, ducking and hiding to avoid detection, and using stealth and knifing enemies as to not draw a large amount of enemies to you by firing a gun, as loud noises will alert enemies right to your location. There are a total of 5 different open world maps, and the first couple maps will have you playing pretty much as cautiously as possible. However, by the time you unlock the third map, you'll start to have access to better firearms, armor, and equipment, and it becomes less hiding and more fighting with game confidence. And by maps 4 and 5, you'll feel like you've become the enemy that must be feared and will be easily taking out those same enemy types that you once cowered in fear over. My point being, the longer that you play and progress, the better you become able to survive within these environments. You'll be spending a lot of time in this world, but if you're anything like myself, you'll also be spending just as much time back at your home base. I became addicted to sorting out my collected finds, cleaning my firearms, and manually loading up my magazines, deciding which to take out with me the next time, ensuring I'm armed enough to take on anything, but also have a pack empty enough to gather more resources without exceeding the weight limit. It's pretty much a balancing act that will take a while to actually get good at. But that's the beauty of this game. It truly is 100% up to you on how to proceed and if you will succeed. There is no right or wrong way to play ITR. It's just you making what you feel are the best decisions to make given your current motive. You have full control over how to play ITR with one exception: the tide. When the tide sweeps through, it will literally throw you somewhere within that same map. All your collected mission items are now no longer good, so all the hard work that you did is for nothing, as well as all the enemies that you've killed are all respawned again. But you only have the same amount of ammo that you had, and your guns remain in the same conditions that they were in right before the tide swept. Meaning you may have had a pretty easy time blasting your way through to begin with, but now you could be very low on ammo. Your guns may have a lot of damage to them, meaning that they can jam easily or just not even fucking work at all until you're able to clean them or repair them. And you may not be able to survive the journey back to base. The best advice that I can give you is don't get caught by the tide. It's honestly never fun. I also want to point out that Into the Radius has some of the best physics for this type of game, from throwing knives to doing things like loading individual bullets into your magazines one at a time. However, you can also just hold your empty magazine up to a box of ammo and it will auto load your magazines for you. But the physics engine within this game is truly impressive. Whether you're throwing things or just playing with things, you can take individual bullets, roll them around, stack cans up, tumble them over. I mean, the possibilities are basically endless, and you'll discover this when setting up your own preferential way to have your base. It becomes pretty fun playing around with the physics that are in this title. I mean, shit, you can even light a cigarette up and enjoy a smoke if you want, or play the guitar to pass some time. ITR offers such a fulfilling survival experience that's also one of the loneliest out there. You will encounter no other survivors, only the written down memories. The locations all look very desolate and apocalyptic, but at the same time, fucking beautifully intriguing and serene. Like I said, I have well over 1,000 VR titles and have never played anything quite like Into the Radius. Have never become so addicted to another title where even the most mundane things become rewarding on a personal level of enjoyment. And as someone who put in so many hours on the Quest 2 and 3 headsets, I can tell you without a doubt that PlayStation VR 2 is the best place to play Into the Radius, with vastly improved visuals, more immersive haptics, and also offering a quality performance mode, allowing you to choose between 4K graphics with finer detail or a solid 120 frames per second frame rate with still better visual fidelity than on Quest 3. I guess the best advice that I could give to anyone watching this is if you aren't playing Into the Radius, you really should be. And if you are like me, where you own a Quest and PSVR2 headset, wondering, is it even worth buying again just to play on PSVR2? Well, I can assure you it absolutely is.
Attention! This is UNPSC Emergency Guidance Recording L1-61. If you are listening to this, you are most likely suffering from one or more of the following conditions: a sense of displacement, disorientation, memory loss, ataxia, and visual auditory hallucinations. Please remain calm. You are experiencing the adverse effects of prolonged exposure to the Pechorsk radius. This recording was placed here by the UNPSC to guide affected personnel to safety. Inside this emergency cache, you will find a basic survival kit that will get you to the nearest research outpost. Enter the fog to find it.
Now, I'll end this video by simply saying thank you to Into the Radius. Thank you to Virtual Monkey. Thank you to Fast Travel Games. And thank you to Vlad Ranik for giving us the PSVR 2 port that we all needed on this headset. And I am really hoping that all of you find the same love that I have for Into the Radius. And let me know if you'd like to see more videos of this title on the channel, and I'll be happy to make them, as long as it's something that you guys want to see. Just let me know in the comments if you'd like to see a tips and tricks video, or what each map may look like as far as my progression goes, or if you just want to see live gameplay, let me know and I'll do my best to make it happen. But I just want to say thank you for watching. Make sure to hit a like and subscribe. And that's going to do it for this one. So until next time, have fun, stay savage, and keep gaming. I hope to see you all out having fun and enjoying the radius and into the radius. Peace.